for the first of the Battle for Stardom. The Bouncer. Resolve versus Piper. Resolve going in with the double toaster. Reminder for everybody, you do not have to go defaults. You are Springman. You play as Springman. You spring and bounce however you want. Resolve going in with the double toasters. He wants to show off the mastery of classic Spring Boy. Piper going in with the tribal, with the boomerang. He's doing his ninja ways, but with the springy man, dodging and doing his best to weave between every shot. And Resolve going in with the good old punching tools, the double toasters. Starting things off, both players holding about even. Piper at a slight health lead. Resolve trying to find his way in. He's gonna go in for the rush. It will be a successful connection. Out comes Piper's, and it's gonna be a safe block. I believe that might actually be a shield breaker if Piper can set things up right, but it is not an easy shield breaker to land. That Resolve is going to cement a light health lead, but he gets grabbed combo by the Tribolt, and now is set to fall. Piper with a nice call out will be able to take him down in the first round, going to Mr. Pied Piper. Oh, Resolve has a Chakram on this side as well. It looks like he is going to choose to go in with the Tribolt, though. Sees his moment for rush. Piper gonna dance right out of the way. Trying to find a good moment. Just staying on that springboard. Resolve was waiting for a chance to catch that landing with the Tribolt. Just waiting it out. Eventually throws up the punch to capitalize. Punish him down. It's just... Even without that rush, he's just landing a decent amount of damage and giving Piper a very hard time. Finally gets a combo of his own. Piper sees the chance for rush. Tribal is going to be able to follow up, and 260 on that. Resolve still holding fast. Has his Resolve rolling, and he's going to be able to set Piper to Magic Pixel. Sets the KO and brings the round to 1-1. Piper starting off with the classic Dendy grab, getting some good damage in, and setting up with some light tempo. Resolve trying to throw out a response rush, ending up whiffing, and Piper is just dancing around these attacks now, setting himself up in a very confident position with a lot of health and a rush ready to go in for the kill. Nice stun, nice grab follow-up. Resolve now susceptible to the KO from this rush. If Piper can just find his chance, Resolve calling it out will safely block it and keep himself alive and fighting. Piper knocking Resolve into comeback kid mode. This can be a tricky place. Piper needing to keep his calm, finds the grab opportunity, and he's going to be able to take Resolve out. Claiming that first point. Oh my god, I need to fix these because way too many people entered for what I was anticipating. There we go. Mouse, please. Really, not right now. Let's see. Resolve and Piper. Alright, Resolve was just waiting to dive right back in. But Piper dropping by his bands. Gonna see where Resolve wants to go in next. I think he just wants to go. I think... He's just diving in, so we're just gonna go right back in. And we will resume. Oh no! Oh no, Resolve has gone in with the death. He's bringing out the plague. We have Homie, we have Seeky, we have explosions going in. He has brought out the blast. He has become the blaster master. And Piper gonna do his best to just dance and box around these attacks, starting off with a very confident lead. As he is just weaving between all of Resolve's hits. That Homie and Seeky just cannot keep up with Sprayman's quick darted movement right now. We do have a rush ready, and you can see Resolve wants to force something out. He wants to get that rush. If he lands it, Piper will be quickly knocked into critical. Oh, but that's going to be a good boomerang. No rush follow-up here. Piper has a very confident lead, and he just wants to hold it. Make sure he doesn't throw out the rush and potentially lose tempo. But Resolve going to land a nice grab, and he's just going to go for the rush. 545 damage, and Resolve is in the lead. Oh, nice catch, though, from Piper. Feeling like he had to answer out right away. And Resolve gonna respond by going in with the double glusher. That heavy burst is going to be very sickly. Slows Piper down, might chip away at his health. And this is also another really devastating rush if Piper is not ready and careful. Resolve looking to try to generate as much rush as possible. He is leaning into the Yabuki meta right here. He's going in with the best picks for high rush damage. And those Glushers actually doing a solid job right now. Piper holding onto a light lead, but the rush exchange can easily change this tune immeasurably. And those Glushers just constantly blasting down at his health. Thinks he sees a chance, but the Glusher gonna blast Piper to the ground. And no confirm here, but Resolve gonna go in for another shot. He wants it. He's not gonna get it, but he does get a couple more Glushers to flush their way in. Bounce and bomb their down Piper. And brings the score to 1-1. Resolve quickly starting off with some high curving grabs, compliments to those Glushers. He just wants the rush. And he's going to be able to get it 100 through 130 damage. He's losing out on about half of the damage that Glusher was capable of doing. But with straight 3 stacks of poison, Piper immediately knocked into critical. I don't think he's too worried about that. Because Piper cannot take a single hit more, and those beefy weights are just pummeling through every single attack Piper's throwing out. Not gonna go for the rush there. Might have needed to, but I think he sees a chance here. No! Yabuki isn't gonna happen, and Resolve is going to capitalize on that with a meaty Glusher to the face. Keg. Ah, classic. Good. Let me see how the bracket is going. Defer has taken Spenjo out 2-0. Beamer has taken Jor down 2-0. But beyond that, it looks like we don't really have any bona fide answers to what's rolling out. Let's see. Any bans? Beamer, cool. Beamer is very cool. Okay, Piper wants us to go to Sky Arena, so we are already going in with the intensity of intenseness. Final destination, no items, Springman only. I'm sorry, Spenjo. There was way too many people and I had a very hard time seating that properly. In the little bit of time that I have. Going into this round though, Resolve is going to be sticking with the double Glusher. Piper has switched that tribal away for the Toaster. And without the Ibuki combo, those double Glushers might not be necessarily as scary, but he was making some really good trades nonetheless, and is already doing a decent amount of work with Piper taking a light amount. But still, Piper holding onto a very confident lead here, safely dodging out of the way of that rush, looking for some kind of punish, but is not going to be able to find it. Resolve safely dancing between all of these attacks, just making really good work of the fact that he does have two heavy arms, which means that every call out is such an investment. He's only going to take 165. That's still a decent amount. That can be pretty painful, especially when you're on your last legs. But he could be down right now if he had not made that dodge, if he hadn't been able to avoid the Toaster. Thinks he sees a chance. Piper is not even going to play this game. He just chooses to bring out the shield. Trying to dodge, trying to find just a window to get in that KO. Build up that little bit of rush. Piper just too terrified of these Glushers to want to give Resolve the chance to be able to take things out. Oh, nice grab going right underneath the Glusher. Piper going to be starting out strong, looking for a chance to throw out his rush. Resolve just trying to keep his resolve going. Gets that first Glusher. Gets a second one. Keeping his focus steady. Piper continuing to just throw out these punches, keeping this 1-2 pace. Very well known for just having a good boxing stance. A nice call out from Piper. Going to allow him to block out this rush. Does get a very weakened shield, but it's not heavy enough for him to have to worry about a disarm. Resolve quickly knocking down two just above critical health. He's now enraged, does have that power, but with that grab looming over off in the distance, Piper just seizes a brilliant opportunity. Throws out an excellent rush. And is going to be able to take the match 2-1 and set to advance. Alright, what should we do next? Tsuru and Slayer. We could do Tsuru and Slayer, or we could hit Beamer and Alamox. Let's see what's going on. Okay, So I've made my decision. I've made the call. We're gonna do Beamer versus Alumox. Do I have Beamer in here? I do, but not the right way. Not Brammer. Beamer. Bam. And so now we're going to be diving into our next bout. Alumox will be facing off against Beamer, and we'll be heading to Spring Stadium once more. Button controls failed you? How dare? How dare they? Oh. We gotta get that one. Alright, so both are in. Spring Stadium is set. This is a quarterfinal? No, that's quarterfinal. Oh no, yeah, this is quarterfinals. We are already... I'm so excited whenever we get a quarterfinals. This is so rare. Do I have it right? Yeah, I do. They're just in reverse on those two. Alright, so it looks like both of them are going to choose to start things off with Seekis in hand. Beamer going in Seeki Toaster, Alumox going in Seeki Chakram. Alright, now we are seeing just the devastating power and potential the experience Beamer does have with the Seeki. Being the player, generally in this scene, being the player that is known for utilizing the Seeki, you can kind of see why right now, as he has just got 3 of his 4 shots have just been consistent lands, solid follow-ups. And he's quickly burned Alumox down into critical health as he's just getting these choice pokes, these solid boxes, and just exceptional callouts, setting himself up in a very confident position. Beamer just looking for one more hit to take Alumox down. And Alumox doing a solid job of boxing up to this point, but that Seeki is going to self-detonate and will take her out as a result, getting Beamer that first point. Oh, nice rush. Going to be able to successfully get some damage out. Alumox slowly starting to balance out this difference, getting a little bit more control. If she gets a full rush, she can be able to reassert a lead, but the Toaster is just too safe to go against, and Beamer is going to be able to block the rush, now holding on to a huge health lead off of that whiff. Nice call out. She is going to be able to successfully punish. Alumox cannot take any kind of damage from this point on. We're just looking for one more good poke, and that Seeki gonna seek its target. Alright. Beamer starting off with a good tempo lead, good point advantage. Heavy. Wait. Wait, no, it's just a question. It got sorted out. Let's see. DNA Lab? We're going to DNA Lab. Springman's favorite place for chilling and eating pizza. DNA Lab. Alright, we're gonna be going back in. Mouse, please. Thank you. Wait, I put the point wrong. There. Alamox switching over to Tri-Blast Chakram. Definitely a really steady loadout. Really good at poking and pressuring. And an excellent counter tool. This can be a really good loadout for this stage as well. As those two arms can have a very easy time curving and pinning down an opponent with all of these tubes in just such spacious room, but like there's also just equally very limited room to work with, especially while these tubes are up. And this pressure game is going to be supreme, but Alamox getting caught out by the grab. Now Beamer setting up a lot more ground to work with, a lot more room. Gets shocked, not able to hide behind the pillar efficiently enough, and that's Siki gonna set Alamox just above critical. Alamox now, look, just a little breath away from getting knocked out. She does have a rush that can definitely take Beamer out, just needs to find that moment. Beamer looking for one solid hit to take her down, and it's going to be that Siki explosion. And she's going to switch over to the toaster as a result, looking for something a little more steady, a little more consistent in these boxing exchanges. And quickly gets rewarded for it with a nice 130 from this toaster and another on a successful follow-up. Just on point with these aims as Alamox is just chipping down Beamer's health point for point before Beamer finally gets a trade of his own. Alamox now just trying to play things safe, playing things patiently. Just focusing on making these points just very focused on and very well aimed, very dedicated too, as it's only been like charged toasters that have really connected for her, but more so than enough to get Beamer to be at half health. Either player utilizing their rush, both wanting to hold on to it. Beamer likely for a confirm. Alamox likely holding on to it, just wanting to make sure Beamer doesn't have a chance to throw out his rush. Oh, that's going to be another knockdown. Alamox now at half health. Beamer at 25. Just a couple more trades with the toaster, and Beamer can set himself up in the lead. The Siki can definitely do that work too. Alamox has just been super cautious, leaving herself in Beamer's comfort zone with that Siki just excellently zoning her out. She does get the rush to KO though on that last second, feeling the need to throw it out to keep herself alive and fighting. Brings this set score to 1-1. Beamer still sitting on match point. Alamox has to be able to take this and one more on top to be able to advance in bracket. But that double punch is going to be a clean 290. It sets Beamer with advantage. Oh, there's so many good matches in here that I want to stream. I want to do defer and vertical H as well. But it's like Steel and Suru. That's just delicious. So far, focusing back on the match, Alumox currently holding a very handy-dandy lead. I think if Beamer went for the rush there, he could have set himself up with that advantage, but now does have a KO opportunity if he sees a good read. But that Siki is going to be safely baited out. Alumox capitalizing on it, and she's going to be able to bring the score to 1-1. Both players now evening out this score. Whoever is able to take this next one will be moving forward into the semifinals. Whoever gets knocked out here will be swinging it back. Seeding's a little complicated for this, just quick random thoughts too, because like, a Springman can be a really good Springman. But there's also the case and argument where it's like, not everybody does good in their matchup. Like as a Mechanica main, I don't like the Mechanica mirror match. Doesn't help that I don't use good arms for it. Like I'll bring in Nade or Bub, and it's like, no, just use arms that are actually meant for the matchup. I'm like, no! And there's a lot of that happens here too. That said, these two are both Springman players, mains. Both are very comfortable with their characters, this character. So this is really just these two just utilizing this character as well as they can to outdo each other. Beamer actually putting that Siki away as it's just not been working out for him anymore. Now Alumox actually capitalizing on this, is trying to go in for a lot more of a chase. He's managed to secure some solid damage, but Beamer managing to get a couple of good pops himself. Both quickly trying to build up rush. This seems like it's more of a rush and build exchange going on, as both are just holding onto those deflects, generating rush, then throwing out a couple of double punches before charging up yet again. A nice choice poke coming in for Beamer, who's now holding onto a lead against Alumox, just safely dodging around these chakrams too. Sees his chance for a rush. Alumox trying to dodge out of the way, but is going to get sniped down for 270 damage. Oh, she thought she had the confirm, but just could not line it up in time. That dash forward just stalled her rush just a little too long. And now it's a whiffed rush. Beamer safely protecting himself. He might be down if she was able to land that rush. But because of that mistake, that whiff, now it is advantage Beamer's side. Alumox switching over to the Tri-Blast means she's going to have a little bit of a harder time boxing out Beamer's attacks. But if any of those Tri-Blast bolts get around his gloves, especially if a charged shot comes out, he's just done for in a lot of these cases. But so far, he's keeping up that tempo, keeping up this pace. Alumox, quickly knocked into a third of her health, is trying to find her chance. Thinks she's got a rush, but it's going to be a safe block for Beamer, who has a very confident lead right now. Alumox just struggling to keep up with this pace. We do finally see her get a chance to charge up, starting to get that corner pressure going. Beamer finds that little bit of room that he needs. A lot more breathing space, a lot more opportunity to flex out that rush generation. And he's got it ready. Alamux will get taken out if this fully connects. Any straight damage at this point will be enough too. Alamux trying to build some more rush. If she gets a Chakram confirmed, she might be able to turn the tides. But that's asking a lot for what's going on in this field. And that grab mix-up is going to be safely punched down. Beamer will be advancing 2-1 against Alamux. Mouse, please stop dying. Lego Beamer. It was good match. So you did good match. It was very excellent. Much proud. Good luck with brackets. Yes. Yes, you may continue doing that. Alright. While this is happening on the screen, I will be getting things set up. Suru will be facing off against Steelhead. Suru also rocking the tag Superman once upon a time. For those who might not find this name familiar, he is good. Very good. Steel is also very good. But Suru is very, very, very good. He is Suru Man.
I got him to switch off Siki, so I won in that sense.
Yay! You did it! Sophia, you're just gonna stay in here and continue to do this. Thank you. Oh, God. Alright, Steelhead readying up, is set to go in for the fight. Suru stepping into the ring, and it's gonna be this... Wow, who would have guessed? This is Springman Mirror match in the Springman only tournament. We got Brass loadout, and we got Toaster Chakram Tri-Blast. I like both of these. I like both of these a lot. This makes me happy to see on Steel for some reason. It's just... It's a good loadout. It's really dangerous. It has a lot of punch. It has a lot of potential. He doesn't get that armor on buff up, but it's pretty much Brass. Brass, but much faster and smaller. Going in for the punches. A nice block with the Kablammer, keeping Steel from getting punished on that disarm. So just looking for a chance to set up a lead with this rush, but Steel is doing a fantastic job of building rush of his own. A nice dodge, and Suru just staying nimble and deftly dodging out of the way. Now Suru with the rush has that opportunity to be able to secure a lead, especially if he's just able to get choice punishes and pokes. But Steel's just doing a really good job of just covering ground with that Kablammer. That splash damage from that heavy weight is just making ground a little more awkward for Suru to be able to evade. These two toasters, though, still just continuing to be a terrifying prospect for Steel. who's just barely above critical. Tsuru now in comeback mode, enraged, gets that permacharge, gonna constantly just be bombarding Steel with attacks. Definitely was expecting the rush. Oh, a nice call out of an excellent block. He is gonna take 20, another 20, but that's not enough. Steel will be drawing. Meaning these two are gonna have to redo that entire thing. Neither of them with rush either. Like Tsuru maybe barely with anything going into this. So he might technically have rush advantage, but we are quickly starting off with a draw between these two masters of their craft. Steel slowly building up a little bit of damage. Has a slight deficit though, Tsuru just getting those solid hits in with the toasters. Just quickly bapping and chewing through that health. Where Steel's only been able to really get effective chip damage off of those explosions. Which is still very beneficial, but it's just not nearly as much. Tries to make the call out, it's not going to work out this time. Tsuru going to be able to be restood and bring out the shield in time. Trying to quickly generate some more rush, go in for a second swing. He's playing nice and patiently too, just looking for his best chance, his best bet possible. Another nice nade connection, just keeping up this tempo, keeping this damage rolling. Out comes the rush. Tsuru finally seen his mark, and he's going to be able to successfully connect. Steel is just about ready with the rush, but he's very low on health, cannot take another hit. Tsuru starting off with advantage, but he's gonna quickly get called out for that deftly little jab. And Steel just landing 350 damage. While he does not have the explosion switching over to the roaster, that thing is going to be significantly faster. And it's gonna be a nice 140 instead of the 30 that Tsuru is getting with his arms. Especially since there isn't too much boxing going on right now either. This can be really optimal, as it's just gonna allow Steel to be able to get slightly faster and more aim, more control with his shots. We are seeing that roaster is just helping him out so much. Tsuru making a good call of trying to focus that charged Kablammer, get that arm disarm to happen so he can follow up nicely. But Steel is just doing a really solid job of protecting that fragile tool as best he can. And even though Tsuru finally manages to find that chance, he's gonna get knocked out for it as a result. And he is on Magic Pixel, has that last little ounce of time and space. You see Steel wanting to try to generate rush, try to create a little bit more room, but these risky moves can also mean that it's really easy for Tsuru just to pummel him down. And this is where that Kablammer splash could be really helpful. Tsuru just staying on this boxing pace. 8 seconds left on the clock. Good grab would be enough. This rush will not be enough, but he will just barely balance it out. And a second timeout happens. This one almost could have been a draw too. But Steel with 30 health, not getting juggled, just barely living through that one. And because of that too, Steel gonna be holding once again a nice rush advantage. Just rolling into here. Tsuru switching over to the Tri-Blast. A really good counter to Springman. This roaster Kablammer is just popping down on his face. Having the roaster not self-detonate is just helping Steel a lot too in his movement. A punish dodge is... That dodge attempt is just gonna get punished. 400 in damage going in for Steel. And now we are right back in that same position as before, but this time, Steel isn't missing. Steel connecting with a quick light jab from that uncharged roaster will be able to take the first point. Steel the Madman taking Sudo out handedly. In that final exchange, just Roaster Kablammer just being a little too fast, a little too heavy for Sudo to be able to respond in time. And allowed him to get some really exciting punishes. Let's see where we're going next. We are sticking to Spring Stadium. Sudo will be taking us right back there, looking for those Yabukis. I have no water. I didn't refill my water bottle. That's unfortunate. Alright, Steel readying up. We'll see what Sudo wants to bring in. Why am I still at 50? Oh wait, the gift. I got gift sub like 10 a couple days ago. And the huge barrage that happened is probably going to pass up in like the next week. Right, we are seeing some heavy arm changes coming in from Sudo. No Chakram, no Triblast. We have a Slamamander going alongside the Toaster. Always a fan of the Manders. Those slaps are slappity. And that Slamamander can be... Normally, it's really hard to land rush confirms off of the Slamamander without, like, exceptional practice. Or, if your opponent is just straight up cornered out. But this is a really good stage for Mander, as that movement usually puts the opponent on the springboard, meaning that there's a lot of delay before they get back onto the ground, which means that you've got a pretty easy time landing rush confirms should you be looking for them. So far though, Steel holding even. He's going to call out, punishes Sudo out for that dodge attempt. He is well aware of the fact that Sudo is just going for those. And because of that confidence, that suave that Steel had in securing his rush, he is holding on to a 50% lead. And just looking for one more choice hit to take Sudo out. And Sudo gonna end up diving right into that roaster. Steelhead now at match point, looking to knock Sudo into the comeback brackets. With Rush not too far behind, he definitely has that opportunity. He has that option. He has the control to be able to make this a reality. Out comes this Rush, and he's gonna safely block it out. Not even a shield break. That Glusher did get some good damage. Sudo playing much more safely this time. He's definitely starting to catch on to the fact that Steel is more than ready to take him down. And just chooses to shield it entirely, preventing some very heavy damage from coming in. Glusher doing a nice amount of work, covering a lot of Steel's movements and getting some good poison damage on top. Do I have the fan on going on? I do. And this round looking very much like a reverse of just that previous few rounds, where this Roaster Kablammer is starting to get pummeled out, and Sudo going to be able to take this point in style. That said, it is an expansion of his rush. See what's going on. Ooh, nice 420 rush, let's go! Steelhead starting off pretty strong. That rush doing a lot of damage to Suru, but we do have a rush coming in. Suru's end ready and set to go for the kill. And you can see Steel being a lot more cautious now, aware of that. Nice choice roaster. Just a couple more hits is all he needs to be able to take Suru out. If he gets caught by this rush, that quickly balances out this field though. And that Kablammer boxing is just not going to work out. 335 damage, both enrage, both permacharge. A nice block and nice evade. And that's going to prevent Suru from taking, except straight up getting destroyed. That said, lowers his health enough for the roaster to be the KO opportunity. And Steel will be taking Suru down 2-0 as a result. Alright, let's move forward with things and head into the semi-final brackets. Oh good, look at the thing. What's... Mouse, please. What happened? Let me see, so there's a... Oh! There we go, fixed it. Let's see, it would be Steel versus Vert. Oh, I kind of want to see Vert. Let's see, where is Defer in this? Alright, I'll see if I can catch Defer later on, too. Hold on, I'm confused. Wait. Oh, right, we've got a bracket. We got... Let me set up the names. We've got Beamer going in. We've got Pied Piper stepping in to try to take this foe down. Making some impressive plays and has just been doing a really solid job climbing through the brackets. Did I spell it right? No, that's spelled... It's not Bremer, it's Beamer. No. Gotta fix that now. No. I almost did it again. There we go. Alright, Beamer going in with the Siki, with the Toaster, starting off with a light lead against Piper, who is rolling in with the Toaster Boomerang combo. And quickly taking an obscene amount of damage off of that rush, gets Siki confirmed. Now Beamer just looking for that one final bap, one light punch. Ooh, that whip almost being detrimental for Piper, but he does make it through with a rush, 315 damage. Now has Beamer just a smidge above critical. There's another Toaster coming in hot as Beamer takes that first point. Switching things up a little bit. Piper changing over to the Tri-Bolt. And this looks pretty similar to what he likes to run on Ninjara. Having a nice poke with that Tri-Bolt. And then good coverage with the Boomerang. Just the old light and curve combo. And that good old rush punish opportunity. As Piper is able to take out what could have been a devastating amount of damage. And keeps himself alive just a pinch. A nice little poke. Piper trying to close in this distance. Trying to find a chance, but nice utilization of the springboards allows Beamer to keep Piper back at bay. And with that, Piper now at critical health. One hit is all that's needed, and an early drop of the shield means that Siki Explosion is going to blow him to the waters. It sets Beamer with advantage. Beautiful. Wait, you can do like that doesn't look as good. Alright, where am I? Had to find stage list. Where are we going? Oh, DNA! Going to DNA lab. Let us dive right in. I'm just gonna ignore that conversation that I left there, because nothing's happened. This is not relevant. Piper going in, Toaster Boomerang, double Toaster. Beamer going in with the Siki Toaster. Just especially at long range, it's just a really effective anti-boxing set. A good way to evade and punish your opponent's attacks. As solid as boxing is, especially with the Boxer Springman, the Bouncer. Starting things off. Beamer is just keeping up this pace, keeping this tempo. Hits himself up with a good lead. Yeah, Beamer is just so on point with this Siki. You don't see him too often in bracket, but when you do, he's generally taking people down left, right, and center. Especially just considering how few people really have experience in this matchup. Like, beyond seeing it on Gillibo with the toast, with the popper, you don't see these sneaky little arms diving around too often. So you just, when you do see it, it is just a terrifying thing. Piper, though, doing a nice job. He's gonna just barely get caught out by this and weaving that Seiki through that tube. Piper needs to be able to punish. He needs to get a hit, but it's gonna be him who gets the hit in the face. Setting up Beamer with match advantage. Just looking for one more win to take Piper out. And with Piper quickly getting burned down by these hits, any rush already set for Beamer, this is looking not in Piper's favor. As he gets exquisitely blocked out by that Seiki, he does find a nice punish with this rush. 280 damage. At critical, though, he has to keep this chase going perfectly. Because any chance, any room, any breathing space Beamer has, we'll take him out. And we see exactly that happen as he quickly keeps his distance just a hair too long. And Beamer gonna safely bully him out. And we'll be advancing 2-0. Quick updates on some of the lower end of brackets. Mario taking Yoshi out 2-1. And is currently facing off against Resolve. Treebird taking Jor down 2-0 and is looking into facing off against Suru. Guy taking Spenjo out 2-0, but getting... Whew, and then being able to advance all the way over to the comeback quarterfinals off of that. I believe that is a bye, so I'm just going to change the score to properly indicate that. 8. And then last but not least, we have Slosh taking Slayer down 2-1 and is currently duking it out with Alumox. And with that, we can move over to one of our beautiful friends, the H of Vert. What does 8 do? 8. So let us get things set up and rolling. We just need Vert to hop into here. This is beautiful. It's a beautiful command. Alright, and it looks like, just seeing on some other things, Alumox able to take... I need to set the stage. Slosh down and will be advancing, I believe, to face off against Treebird. Or Super End Guy. super nice. Alright, things are set there. Steel stepping in, waiting for Vert to follow up, and the last of our winner semifinal matches will be underway. Steelhead against Vertical. Toaster Chakram, and we've got a Scorpion on the side. Steel going in with brass defaults. We'll have to see if the Nade and Kablam are going to be more effective against Vert, or if he's going to have to switch back over to that Roaster. Starting things off, both players quickly going in for trades. Quickly, very aggressive on both ends, as Vertical is just suffocating Steel. Gets that Chakram confirmed, and he is looking to just wall Steel out as much as possible. Steel finally pushing him back a little bit, finding a bit more room. This is definitely what Steel wants in this matchup. Mid-range is going to be so much roomier, so much more open space. That could have been a devastating rush if he went for it. Does patiently wait. He sees another chance afterwards though, and he's going to be able to secure 300 damage, not getting the full rush, but 300 is still nothing to sneeze at. Keeps himself, sets himself to potentially kill. Oh, the block if Steel just went for the grab there, but he quickly moves out of the way. He's back into that range space, and he's going to be able to secure a nice explosion off of that nade. Vert likely expecting to be able to get a perfect shield off of that, but nicely setting things up on that springboard is going to allow Steel to be able to secure a confirmed explosion that Vert cannot evade. Changing things up, we do see the Chakram being put away, trying to balance out the field at long range. With that little crawling Nibbles sneaking about, scuttling around, trying to go in for those tasty little bites. Nice call out for Steel, securing another 150. Your opponent just disconnected? That's not good. That's not good either, 245 damage. She might just be a moment, and guy. I know that sometimes she just has things come up that she needs to attend to. Oh, nice catch with the grab, putting Vertical in critical condition. Nibbles, as beautiful and precious as you are, is just not keeping up with this Kablamer, with that nade, and is allowing Steel to get some really good choice hits. Finally finds that little poke, gets some damage. Oh, and he's going to be able to secure the rush, 300 damage, finally getting a little bit of ground. Trying to bait something out with that block. Steel just safely dodging out of the way. With a few moments left on the clock, he has to go in for the kill. That's not going to be enough, but the chip damage is going to still not be enough. Vertical will be able to time him out. And Vert agreeing with me. He's going to put, as precious as the Nibbles was, it was really the Toaster that made things work before. And just having the Chakram as an additional option is just going to be a little bit steadier. It's going to be a much more potent rush. Oh, no, they nerfed it? That's awful. How dare they? Regardless, you have like an infinite amount of them, Gilly, so... Out comes the rush. It's going to be a safe block for Steel. Vert not letting up, just aware of the fact that Steel could very easily go in for some kind of punish. Sees his chance, tries to go in for the Chakram, but it's going to allow Steel to get 265 as a result. Just constantly doing a really good job of just keeping an eye out, throwing out that Toaster, or throwing out that nade, and just stopping on the landing, readjusting his aim, and then moving out appropriately. Constantly baiting people into trying to go for the punish, but just not, and then just punishing out their punish attempt. It's been the constant play we've been seeing here. And we'll have to see if he's going to be able to utilize that to just carry through against the rest of his foes. The treasure. Oh yeah, I noticed that. It's unfortunate. All the chats have stopped. Oh, no. It looks like we are going to be going to the scrapyard next. Let's bring in DNA closed out. I'm sure Steelhead's had his fill of the stage. Which means that we have a very open opportunity to be going into the scrapyard. Not sure how well the stages is going to be for Vert. Revolver might be a good pick. Yeah, I mean, he gets bonus damage because it's home turf of the Revolver. But in all seriousness, though, I'm not sure how this is going to work. He might be able to make this work. He might be able to have this just be an effective zoning tool, which just kind of circumnavigates the fact that Steel has been doing better at the range. But it could still just be a very Steel-friendly stage. If that Revolver does not work out, Vert basically has just put himself in a really bad place going forward. Both players trading back and forth, looking for their chance to be able to get some more damage. Vertical currently holding on to the slightest of leads, but a good charge nade will be able to secure the advantage for Steel. And especially with that being a Revolver, it means that this rush is very easy for Steel to land. Very easy for him to punish out Vert's misplays. He gets 365 damage, securing himself with a very confident lead. That will be a shield break. He is going to get some light damage on top, 65 off of the shield break. But even with that, Steel has a very confident lead, very confident control on these exchanges. Nice punish out with the grab. And just one hit is all he's looking for. Vert starting to get some good tempo though. Quickly knocking Steel above 25, below 25. He needs a couple more hits. A grab would be able to set him in the lead. Out comes the rush, and Steel dodging and on the time! Kablamming his face off. Where am I? Alright, and with that, it was starting to work out in those last moments, but that rush is just such an investment that when he chose to make that call, just does what it does. And this is definitely a really tricky place for Vert to be in now, because he's not, with the Revolver not working out, that means that he's now playing an aggressive style. On it still can work aggressively, but this is definitely, even in this form, very, very optimal for defensive play. Nice call out though, and he's going to be able to get the KO. Just managing to turn the tides really quickly, and just a nice chase. Definitely proving me wrong to some degree, and it looks like he's going to be trying to go in for that yet again. This is still match point for Steel. If he takes this one, he will be advancing. Vert has to be able to take this and another on top to be able to get things to work out in his favor. Nice grab for steal, and that additional 5 damage is going to guarantee the knockout. And with that, Steel will be taking this bracket this match 2-0. Will be advancing to winner finals to face off against Beamer. That said, I am going to take a very short break. When we get back, we will do more matches. I'll just need a moment to breathe. Short break. When we return, more gaming, more arms. Arms nice. Why does it look like that? What happened? Why is it so dark? There's no filters on it, right? Well, that's ruined. Oh, now it's good. Wait, no it's not. Yeah, no, it's ruined. Dang it. Anyways, we'll be right back. I'm back. I don't know why I turned to a different shade. It's stupid. was gonna play music and then I forgot to. Because of that problem. Alright, let's cover a couple of these matches otherwise. Alright, looking on the lower side of things, it looks like Mario was able to take Defer down 2-0, taking both of the special guests. He is the guest killer. Murdering my poor guests. I wanted to I wanted to catch at least one Defer match. Mario swagged on the 2 cover boys. He did! I was going to stream the Defer match. But then I was too focused on the winner side. And then Defer got bullied. So now we've got the cover killer. And we've got seed number 1. We've got Japan. Who took Treebird down 2-1. Duking it out. Alright, so let's get things set up. Spring Stadium. And we can move ourselves over to the comeback rounds. Mario all set and ready. Mario fully pulling off the comeback kid in fashion, as he was quickly knocked onto the lower side and has been just climbing through, taking down notable player after cool person. Is it common parlance? No, I just feel like calling it losers is stupid. Calling it comeback or like lower brackets seems less stupid. It's understandable and valid. Thank you, Steel. I'm sorry my arguments are really bad. I appreciate that you respect them. Alright, going into this. Mario with a nice rush attempt. Pseudo gonna be able to safely dodge out of the way though. And he's currently setting himself up to try to find some comeback, but that Slamamander is just slamming Pseudo down. Mario is starting off beastly. Just looking for that one more Mander poke. Definitely going to be something that Pseudo is going to have to be aware of and contend with. As it's just been slipping and sliding and sneaking its way through and smacking him in the face time and time again. Gets that Slamamander, and Mario gonna be able to follow up with the Rush 375. Yay! Heavy is okay now! Pseudo starting off, going in with the Rush. He's gonna be able to connect 300 damage, recognizing a beautiful moment to secure some good damage. But at this point, Mario holding on to a very confident lead, and is just looking for a little bit more work to be able to do in the deal. Mario now ready with Rush. You can see Pseudo trying to respect it. He's going to safely block it out. That is going to be a shield break and knocks him into that little bit. Only an uncharged Mander or Toaster is enough that he can sustain. And now anything else will be the KO. And you can see Mario determined to find that chance. He's going to get knocked into a Rush though. 320 damage 18 seconds left. Mario has to make a connection of any hit, and he's going to be able to do so with Commander, setting that first point in Mario's favor. Woo Spring! Heavy in heaven. Oh no. Beautiful. It looks like we are going to be going over to DNA Lab. Pseudo definitely likes this stage. I can't blame him. It's a really neat one. You guys like this topic? No, Heavy. I tried to change the conversation last time you brought this up. This is... No, this is bad talk. Oh, in regards to bad talk though, we do have something very toxic stepping into the field. Pseudo going in with the Tri-Blast Glusher, a favorite amongst a handful of NA and EU ARMS players. Having a wide spread of damage, that heavyweight Glusher bouncing around, and heavy rush potential, easily breaking through and chewing out a lot of shields and destroying the lives of children. Maybe not that last part. But it is scary. And he's going to be able to secure a scary amount of 385 damage, plus that poison tick. Mario one hit away from dropping to the floor. Pseudo doing his best to safely find that moment. He's going to be able to secure it with the Tri-Blast. I don't want my channel to become known for as a place to talk about that. A nice 360 damage rush sets Mario up with tempo on this round. I'm noticing Pseudo has a couple of really nice grab opportunities, but he just doesn't go in for them. Just like a lot of players, just a little too focused on keeping that 1-2 pace, not even going for a follow-up punch on those blasts. Because he could secure some really nice damage off of those opportunities. But a lot of, like, as effective as his patient play is, it's that being a little too patient that can lead you into not being able to get what you need to take your foe down. As they'll eventually find out how to slip through the threads and burn your face into the pits. Mario bringing the score to 1-1. This is the final round for this set. If Mario can take this next point, he will claim the match and will be advancing to face off against... He will be continuing his ascent as the comeback kid. Mario, if you do... Mario... Yeah, if Mario takes this, he'll be facing off against Piper, which I believe these two already fought. No, they didn't. They fight a lot elsewise, but not in this case. The Mario Defer set wasn't reported. Yeah, it was. Try refreshing. Because it has a weird thing where it doesn't load properly. Mario currently holding onto a lead. That rush can potentially set Mario up to get KO'd. Pseudo does need to find the confirm, needs to find that opportunity, needs to see that chance. The Tri-Blast not going to be able to reach out in time, but the Glusher with 70 damage on top. there a chance that you can fight? Unfortunately not. This is a tournament. Oh, the grab is going to close it out, and the comeback kid continues his comeback climb. Mario taking Suru out 2-0, and will continue onwards to face off against Mr. Pied Piper. Okay, Mario, I'm just gonna make a... You've earned yourself a new role. Let me get you your new role. I'll fix things up later, but Mario, where are you? I'm just gonna ping you in Discord. There you go. Bam. Special title, special role for you. You do not. You and Piper dance off stream. It's going to be Sophia and Vertical H on stream. And then after that, we will be commencing the Steelhead vs. Beamer match and rolling forward from there. Which means that I feel like I did a good job. Maybe not with seeding. Definitely not with seeding. But this is also hard to properly seed, considering all of the everywhere. There's so much everywhere. Just need Alumux to drop by, and we can set ourselves up for the quarterfinals. Also, huge shout out, much love to Suru for dropping by and participating. That is... The hour here cannot be easy on him. But he decided to show up nonetheless, which is very fabulous and very appreciated. Ugh. Unfortunately, I don't have things set up for the next tournament to make the announcement, but for those who are interested, GG's! Yeah, for those interested, sometime down the road, 2 to 3 weeks from now, we will be moving forward with the next tournament, which will be the Eris Ribbon Girl. So do keep your eyes out for that. More details will come eventually. I think we're also going to almost be set with like the advertisement graphic or whatever that we'd want to be throwing out for that. Actually, on the note of Comeback Kid, how's Alimux's climb? Okay, it wasn't as literal of a Comeback Kid climb, but it's still a pretty fierce one, having to take Slosh and N-Guy down. Yeah, no, Mario gets the Comeback Kid role. He's earned it. But yeah, going into this, Alumox going in Toaster Boomerang. Vertical going in his own spin on things with that Toaster Chakram. That grab confirm off of the Chakram can be exceptionally devastating. That said, the win confirms off of that Boomerang can lead into some very good mix-ups and counterplay. Starting things off, Alumox is doing a pretty beastly job as she is just pressuring out Vert, but gets a little too close in. Vert secures a nice rush confirm, some good damage off of it. Alumox trying to respond with a rush of her own, does get 45 on the top. Still, with that little bit of an exchange, it's in Vert's advantage. He has that control. 8. And is just looking to hold things out just a little bit further. With 20 seconds left on the clock, it seems unlikely that a rush will come out in time. So it's all about those trades, those exchanges. 7 seconds left. Alumox has the lead. She's got Rush ready too. Any choice, Toaster just calling out that little bit of a dash. And she's going to safely move out of the way. Doesn't even want to risk the chance of getting knocked down by anything. And setting herself up with a bit of advantage. Both players ready with Rush, looking for their chance. Sophia, or Alumox, doing a really good job with those exchanges early in, but a nice Rush coming in for Vert, 310 damage, and quickly generating Rush on top of that with that springboard. Just the delay that it takes for Alumox to get back onto her feet. Finally starting to see a little bit more ground, but Vertical just constantly poking her out here. This round is so much more in his favor. Unable to reply, she dives into that Toaster and is going to get taken down. Both players near ready with Rush. This is definitely going to be a little bit more in Vert's favor. But if Alumox can find just enough time to generate that Rush a bit further, potentially get a good Boomerang follow-up. You can see, especially if she curves it along a path that aims towards one of those springboards, if she just gets a charged hit with that, that's going to be a very safe conversion. You can tell Vert is very aware of this and doing his best to stay out of harm's way. Sees his chance, goes in, 340 damage. Quickly builds up a little bit of Rush, gives himself a little bit more time. Alumox with a nice grab, pushing him back. Sees her chance for the Rush, but the Toaster is just a little too safe. Quickly retracts in time. Oh, that would have been such a good Rush, but she does get 40 damage off of the juggles. Setting herself up with a little bit more ground. Gets the disarm. Gets another disarm before finally getting Vert to fall onto the ground. Alumox will be ready with Rush first. That would have been such a good moment. She was still retracting her arm. She goes for this grab. Trying to just secure some kind of knockout before Vert has his Rush ready. You can see her quickly going in for the chase. He's going to be able to connect with the Toaster, and now it's both players looking for their chance. Alumox going to safely bait out this Rush, but that means that he has the ground still, and even off of that counterplay, Vert will be able to take her down. Setting up with first point.
Yeah, baby.
Vert shaking, super tensed off of this. Sophie gonna be taking us over to DNA Lab. Looks like she's looking to try to get this range. She was making some good calls, and it's a lot better for her when she has that space to breathe. We'll have to see if that works out for her, though, heading into this next stage. I forgot to refresh water. Somebody remind me, because I'm never going to remember, and I'm just going to wither and die eventually. And it looks like she has counterpicked to this blonde Springman color. We now have ourselves a true mirror matchup with Toaster and Chakram both readied up on either end. We've got a nade set up on Alamox. We've got the Lockjaw set up on vertical side. Couple of nice counter picks for either side. And just Toaster Chakram is such a steady combo on Springman. It works out so well. This does mean that she also has a little bit more control in that close range exchange. Well, players quickly weakening each other's arms. This is about as mirror match as you can get, with these two kind of making very similar plays constantly. Finally, Alamox finding her way and gets that first serious chunk of damage and just deepens that light lead that she was holding. Nice shock, nice grab follow-up. And Vert struggling to keep up with this tempo, with this pace. This lab filling Alamox with determination as she is continuing to push onwards in the face of adversity. Out comes the rush. She sees it coming and punishes it out! Excellently anticipated, and Vert just not covering his options well enough allows her to safely dive right out of the way. Somebody please clip that. Just that moment, just impeccable, exquisite. And she's gonna be able to get the KO. Please make this a clip. Someone please make this a clip. Vert switching things up. He's got that Toaster now lined up with the Lockjaw. Just that heavy, beefy weight body might help out in this long-range game. A lot of explosions as well. It can be really dangerous for Alamox to have to play around. Also means he's going to have a bit easier time in the rush exchange with that large weight, just being able to power through that Chakram. Both players again ready with rush, but so far Alamox managing to keep up with the pace of that Lockjaw and in fact dancing around it and securing a good 25% damage lead. Just looking for a chance to go in for the punish for that counterplay. And Vert just trying to keep pace, trying to keep tempo with her and find a way in. Lockjaw doing a nice job of being able to block off the odd attack. He thinks he's got the chance, and this is going to be a successful lineup. 400 damage. This is now his. Alamox does have a rush that can secure the KO, though. She's just looking for it. She's fishing for this chance. Thinks she saw it, but without the Lockjaw out, that Toaster's going to quickly retract, and Vert will be able to safely block it out. Another stun with that Chakram. One more, and now she's just looking for one hit, and it's a third Chakram as the two traded out. The score brought to 1-1. Oh wait, that's why it's darker. Because I dark... No! 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 What are you doing? There we go. Oh, that's a little too bright. There we go. And it looks like we are going to go back to Spree Stadium. Vert wanting to close this out. He wants to stay in this bracket. Continue climbing that vertical hill. Everybody give your energy to these players. Cheer them on. Who do you want to see take this? Do you want to see Alamox take it down? Or do you want to see Vertical keep up the fight? or something. I don't know. Cheer on both of the people, though. They're very cool. Vertical going to be switching over to the Scorpion, looking to try to get a little bit more control off of that slow crawl, that sneaky little treat. Has a lot of utilization. As you see, it has that crawl when it's used grounded, but if vertical and short hops, it plays very similarly to that chakram. Just instead of stun, it would actually be poison damage. Starting things off though, that chakram is currently holding a little bit of control over the Scorpid, allowing for some serious damage going in, and she's holding that lead. Let's go, Blonde Spring Man. That's a solid pick. Out comes the rush, and he's going to be able to secure the damage. 290, gets the juggle, has that 11 points of poison on top, but his shield is going to leave him nice and open for Alamux to get that grab punish. And another grab on top with the chakram. A single hit is all she needs, and it's going to be a grab catching his ankles. And Alamux now holding match advantage. Heading into the next round. This is match point for Alamux. She's just looking for one more win, and that double punch is gonna set her up with good tempo. 340 damage off of that rush. Nice chakram into grabbing. Alamux quickly knocking her into just above critical health before he finally finds his first exchange. That is a potential shield breaker if he chooses to go for it. Could set some nice tempo. Alamux just playing it patiently until this rush comes out. Alamux trying to find her way in. Thinks she sees a chance for the rush, and it's gonna be successful! Will take Ver out 2-1. And will advance to the comeback semifinals as a result. Yeah, you're able to have the same color online, but offline you have to be different. And with that, we can set things up. Maybe in 2v2s, but I don't know. Actually, would that? I don't know. Regardless, we've got Steel. We will have Beamer in here very shortly. We will be heading into the winner finals match. Steelhead Beamer duking it out just in this best of 5 to see who will be taking the advantage position in grand finals. And it looks like Piper was able to take Mario down 2-1, and thus the comeback kid can no longer come back. He is, in fact, not coming he's not going anywhere, as his face is now firmly planted in the mud. Piper advancing to face off against Alamux. Beamer going, and Double Toaster is not even going to be playing these games with Steel. Does not trust him against that does not trust himself with that Seiki, especially against these two blasted arms. Steelhead going in with the nade, with the kablammer, and is starting off with some good control, with some good pressure, just blasting Beamer down and setting himself up with a light lead. Nice rush, but it's going to be countered out. Save block with that shield allows Steel to stay alive and healthy. What otherwise would have been a very catastrophic and rewarding punish for Beamer. Steel with a nice blast, gives himself a little bit of time to generate rush, doesn't have the chance to throw it out off of a Yubuki confirm, but he is holding still a late lead, has a bit of control, and he's going to be able to catch Beamer dashing out of that for 425 damage! Just the explosive amount of burst that loadout is capable of at the end. Quickly bursting Beamer down, and will be setting himself up with that first point. Out comes the Seiki. Now he's got to try to sneak his way around this slithering tool. The slithering snake? Slithering... It's a Seiki. Holding out the current lead. Beamer just keeping that pressure. Trying his best to keep this lead in tempo, but Steel finally finding a couple of choice pokes. Sets himself up again. He does have a rush now as well, which if he calls out Beamer too well, that could have been devastating. But Beamer going to be able to land on the ground, bring out the shield, and keep himself from taking that explosive burst this time around. Gets the shock. Beamer not even going to take a chance with the grab. He just throws out that Seiki rush. And gets a huge lead off of it. Steel now having to try to find a way to bring this back. We do have 30 seconds left on the clock. Plenty of trades can happen, and likely will, and especially with a 400 rush ready in the wings. Steel might be able to set this up in his lead. With just any good damage from here. That explosion not taking Beamer out, but a second shield will allow Steel to set up with a potential lead. He just has to go for the rush. He just has to go for that chip damage. Oh, but Beamer gonna call him out and punishes, utilizing the springboard, and brings this point to 1-1. What looked so confident for Steel just did not work out, because once that Kablammer was out, Beamer had a beautiful chance to go in and slide by for the KO. Or slide by for the punish. Switching things up yet again, though. Beamer putting that Seiki down is going to go in with the Cooler Rain. I feel like the Seiki might have been important for him to be able to keep rolling with this. Cooler Rain might lead into some ice chains. But so far, this round is looking very similar to that first one where he went double toaster. As Steel is holding onto a very confident lead, slowly building up rush. Beamer still has yet to find a place to throw out that Cooler Rain. Here comes the chance. Beamer gonna try to go in for a punish, recognizes that Steel is ready, and just chooses to go in for the shield. Keeping up pace, thinks he sees the chance, and finally goes for it. He is gonna get 315 damage plus that juggle. Beamer setting himself up with the lead, but Steel quickly taking that lead back. Nice 150 every time that nade connects. We do have Enrage, and a nice chain off of that perma-charged nade does allow Beamer to knock Steel into a very deathly position. You can see he's trying to build up that rush as much as possible before Beamer can take him out. A few seconds left on the clock. It is all about making a call. Beamer gonna go in for the punish, and that toaster gonna be able to work things out just barely enough that he will be able to claim that first set point. Wow, I just realized we haven't seen the stage all tournament. Mausoleum, up next. Yeah, we got Spring, Mausoleum, DNA, Scrap, and Sky Arena. This whole time, this is the first time we're seeing it in this bracket, which is very exciting, in ways. I think it's cool. This can be a really good stage for Beamer. That also said, this is a lot like Spring Stadium, but Beamer's not going to have the movement options that he had before with those springboards just not being set up on the side. Which means that as long as Steel is keeping pace, keeping tempo, he might have a much easier time to be able to just burn through Beamer's health without all of those dodges that he had to contend with before. And slowly but surely he is starting to make some good reads, some good calls, does get a healthy amount of damage before Beamer is able to get his first hit in, and a nice 335 rush. The timing of the Kablammer just preventing the nade from properly connecting. Beamer now looking for a chance to try to get some kind of confirm with that Siki. Definitely very comfortable and confident in this long-range play, these exchanges. But they're slowly and surely just working out more and more for Steel as that Kablammer just blocking out all of his attacks and these stray explosions just slowly chipping away at his health. A nice, well-aimed Kablammer. That's going to be a shock, but he's not going to be able to follow up with anything beyond the Siki as he already had his punch out. A few seconds left on the clock, and Steel really doesn't need to do anything here, but he has a nice chance for the grab. And a few seconds left on the clock, he's just going to wait it out. Siki getting put back away and quickly opening up 415 damage. Beamer quickly losing half of his health within moments of this round. Steel now has to focus on rush generation. That said, one of the advantages in these exchanges is just the fact that Beamer isn't really utilizing his rush as a punish option. And it's such a rare thing to see that you can you do need to be aware of it, but because of how defensively or how patiently he is utilizing that rush, it means that as long as Steel is just utilizing his rush efficiently and effectively, he generally is holding the upper hand in a lot of these interactions. Finally gets a freeze. He's not going to be able to follow up with anything, but getting this close up, finally going in for the chase, looking to try to force Steel's hand and use his rush. Steel gonna burn his first. Beamer still just a good chunk away from getting a rage, but the nade will perfectly line him up there. Which means that he is just safe to box and punch. That said, without throwing out the rushes, it's just kind of just more punches. And Steel's been handling those really exceptionally in this match so far. So if he's not going in for any kind of rush play, if he's not trying to utilize his permacharge to genuinely pressure, Steel's just going to take him down. And that's going to be a 1-1 score. Moving on.
Gotta bounce.
I think the lower bracket actually is all finished up now. Alamox taking Pied Piper down 2-0 and is now chilling in the comeback finals. I think they both have done it. I think they both earned it. For those climbs through the lower bracket, all the way back through, and taking down so many opponents, both of them get the comeback kid role. Congratulations to them. Not congrats to my mouse for dying at the exact moment that I needed to move it. which it does most of the time. I should really replace it soon. Beamer switch going back in with the Cooler Rain Toaster. Siki actually worked out really well here. He did make the Cooler Rain work pretty well on top of that too though. And especially if he can get Ice Chains, some damage on top, Steel's just going to quickly get pummeled down and can allow for some very confident leads to happen for Beamer. Both players now ready with Rush. It likely will be a Rush interaction that determines this first round, especially with how confident and determined Steel is to throw these things out. Really utilizing them as using them more for their high damage performance rather than their threatening presence. Beamer starting to make a couple of nice call-out and plays though. You can see he's very hesitant, just aware of the fact that Steel is looking for the Rush chance. Safely blocks it out and ends up getting knocked into comeback mode. Steel will respond, safely blocking it out and not getting enough damage to get in range of his own. Some optimal setup on damage chip going in for Beamer. That does mean that 20 seconds in, Steel is building more and more of a lead. And I think Beamer needs a little bit more of a combo to be able to bring things back. 10 seconds left. Steel taking the KO with a well-aimed Kablammer. And we'll be getting the first point on this. Quickly diving in with the grab. The Cooler Rain trying to come in for the punish, but not able to line things up. Beamer will be the first to claim that damage. Steel quickly responding with another excellent nade. Just looking for these chances for these rushes, and especially when there's a weakened arm, there's very little that Beamer can do to respond. As he can just go in for shield break, he can just blast it down, and then the Kablammer still manages to secure most, if not all, of that damage. That said, Beamer, a little hesitant, ended up dropping his guard, and took so much from that, and with that, just Steel holding massive tempo and lead. One more explosion, and that's going to be another point for Steel. Now holding on to the 2-1 advantage. Looking for one more set win to make it to Grands. Mouse, please stop dying. Alright, and with that, that means that Alamox making it to lower finals. But unfortunately, he's going to have to DQ herself due to family matters. So this is now going to be like a marathon of sorts, with Alamox not participating in the comeback finals. If Steel takes this, we move into Grand. And that would be Steel having the advantage. Yes, that was Rocket League. Next week, Steel. I'm running a Rocket League tournament. Yes. If you have friends who want to enter, it would be cool to have you there. Oh, it's teams of 3. You'd have to find one more. But if you got 2, then you just need to find that one more. Nice. And on that note and moment, while these two are starting up this next bout, I will let everybody and anybody who might be interested to know that that is actually the next upcoming event for the Scrapstar Special. A week and a day from now, 12 p.m. Mountain Time, there will be Rocket League for 3v3 teams. If anybody is interested, just check out Planet Scrapstar on Battlefy and you'll be able to see that information. Mario, go make a group, or go into the drafts and maybe try to find a group. See if you can make a group. It would be cool to have you enter. Heading into this match though, we've got Beamer going in double toaster, looking to try to make this work yet again. That first time he brought it out, it didn't necessarily hold out as Steel was able to secure the KO. But never hurts to give it another shot, but so far it looks like it's... or you could say that! But it looks like Steel has a very, very painful lead right now, as he's just keeping up tempo, and this Kablammer is just constantly blasting Beamer down. Kablammer going to secure a little bit more damage. Steel does need a couple of good trades to be able to close this out. And that is going to be those couple of trades, as that slap with the Kablammer and a blast on top. That 160 will be just enough to take Beamer down. We are now match point. Steel looking for one more win to be able to take this to advance to advantage in Grand Finals. Beamer switching things over, equipping that Seiki, looking to try to utilize it, especially since these are just long exchanges so often. This is definitely not the worst pick, and in fact could be really solid. Oh, out comes the Russian! He's gonna be able to punish Steel out, 350 damage. Beamer setting himself up with a little bit of bleh. Starting up with some ground, some good control. But Steel is coming back in for the chase, looking to try to burn down Beamer's health and set himself back in control. But that explosion gonna take the Seiki away, making him lose out on that shock confirm that he had. Gets another chance though, ends up whiffing a second time, and Beamer will be capitalizing, pushing Steelhead back. Another one this time. He's missing again, but this time, second time's the charm, will in fact work out. Steel just looking for a little bit more damage to be able to make this work. Kablammer will be able to call out properly, but with that movement still going on, just cannot line itself up. And Beamer going to be able to take Steel down. And the Seiki giving Beamer just a little bit more life. Steel trying to generate rush, trying to set himself up with a good opportunity to secure that lead. But Beamer just getting a couple of nice plays, some nice combos and damage going in. And he's just holding out with a light control of the field. Both readying up now with the rush. Beamer definitely wanting to be patient here, as those Seiki explosions were really, really scary for him several times over. Also, if anybody can make a clip of that moment, that would be really cool. Like, just those 3 whiffs with the Seiki. Just weird bad luck. Beamer currently holding on to lead. Steel just trying to find his way in, but that Seiki is now starting to become extremely sneaky, as it's constantly jabbing him out, burning through Steel's health. and allowing Beamer to set some control on this field. A nice rush, 410 damage deal is now on that last leg. Any straight hit will be able to take him out. 5 seconds left. And now it is a mix-up. And it's the grab steal going to be able to land it out. Beamer hoping he had enough time, but because he chose to roll, actually got him up maybe just a pinch too soon. And that means that we do have grand finals coming in, as Alumux unfortunately not able to participate. Which means we're starting things off right from the start. Alright, so it looks like we're going to take a quick breather, quick little break. So, while we are chilling out, that is not the right score, Steel, or whoever punched that in. Beamer got a point. Bam. Now I can just fix up this lower side. Alright, and with that, we can take a brief moment to plug a couple of things. As you can see in that top right corner, we've got Rocket League coming up in just a little over a week. Oh wait, why do I have it set for tomorrow? That's next week. There we go. The Rocket League, yeah, I'll just do a direct Rocket League, but like, right there. I accidentally set it to be tomorrow, but that would have been a nightmare to try to run that during the Scrapstar stuff. Yeah, so it is in a week and 1 day, 3v3 format. Hopefully the rules are right. The link is in chat. Go ahead and check it out if you want to play some good old-fashioned Rocket League. Poll results have come in from that questionnaire that I had before, and that also means that keep your eyes out, because after Rocket League, 2 weeks from then, which would be August 10th, we're going to have a 3v3 Ninjala tournament to celebrate that game coming out, and it being, while I get pissed off at it a lot, it's still a cool game, and I want to support it. So we will have a Ninjala bracket later down the road. And of course, if you're interested in seeing more arms from here, tomorrow is the Scrapstar series. An NA and EU bracket will be coming up. If you want to check either of those out, just check battlefy.com/planetscrapstar. Also, do remember that the ARMS, no, that's the wrong one. The ARMS NA Online is a tournament series. We have a lot of events going on, more so than you will see in this direct link. But any of the official NA ARMS events will gain you points, which can hopefully help you see yourself to making it to this event and maybe win a bit of money. Donations are needed. If anybody wants to chip a few dollars out, it would be greatly appreciated, and it would help give the competitors something to fight for. And with that, we should be set and ready to go. When both players are fully ready, we can dive into the Grand Finals match. Steelhead versus Beamer. Oh. Starting things off. Beamer going in with the Coolerang yet again. Steelhead going in with that Glamour and Nade. It's been working out super well for him, and that high burst damage has just gave him a lot of really good exchanges in his favor. We'll have to see if he's going to be able to carry out those exchanges once more. Starting things off, we are seeing a decent amount of that as Beamer has to be cautious with that weakened arm, and Steel capitalizing on that. A nice grab, catching that hesitation and concern. As Steel has quickly pummeled Beamer down to 25% health, just above the Enrage, which means Beamer still has to be generating that power. And as much as that Comeback Kid is nice and handy and dandy and useful, there's also the fact that that means that you get hit, which means you're closer to dying. Oh yeah, I know what I was gonna do. And Steel seems to know what he's going to do as he's able to get that KO and sets himself up with the first point. Starting off this round, Steel just going in for these calls time and time again, and Beamer just fully aware of them at this point, is not going to play fool to them, and ends up punishing multiple times over. Out comes the rush. Steel unable to evade. Ends up knocking him into critical. We do have all of these weird things. No, I just... There we go. Oh, that's going to be a perfect confirm, and Steel will be taking that first point. Setting himself up with the tempo advantage in this grand finals bout. I do need to get a better chair. Ooh, you know what? Let's just use that color. And then we open up Krita. Alright, it looks like we're going to be going over to Sky Arena next. Both are ready and diving in. Looks like they're sticking with their arms. Beamer is trying out a little bit of a different variety of stages, hoping that he might be able to find something that gives him the answer that he's looking for. As Steel has just been doing a remarkable job of just catching him out and punishing him with that Nade and Kablammer. Having a bit of a lower ditch might be a bit more beneficial, especially with just how awkward it is to recover. Whoever has the high ground here really has that high ground. That's starting things off with, and we are seeing a little bit of success with Sky Arena. Beamer currently holding on to a solid lead. And he's, again, just going for these rushes. He has the chance. There is no reason for him to not throw that out. Definitely really needs to be able to just get that damage when and where he can. Steel trying to utilize this pressure, corner out Beamer, but he's just doing a really good job of just staying on the move left and right. Tries to dodge out of that blast, but Blimer just gonna smother out those options. And right now this corner is just looking like Beamer's home for the time being, as he's constantly getting blasted and chipped out. A few seconds left on the clock. Steel only needs one more good hit. Tries to go for the dodge, but Beamer's rush will come in clutch and keep himself alive and fighting. Search. There it is. Sorry, I'm completely distracting myself. Beamer currently holding on to a light deficit into this next round. Where are we? There we go. But he is starting to find a little bit of ground, getting some nice pokes, and finds that high ground yet again. Definitely does not want to be stuck down there, especially off of the pressure that Steel was throwing out earlier. But playing at this distant game, it's making it a little bit easier for Steel just to kind of play things out. He's playing really patiently and just making sure he's keeping an eye on what Beamer is looking for. He finally finds his way out. Beamer now in critical. Definitely one of the hard things about this stage can be really nice, but it's one of the downsides too, where if your opponent's in the ditch and you don't have a good way to approach and pressure, they kind of just get to recover safely, and it's not nearly as detrimental. Where being in that ditch is really bad for Beamer here. Heading into this next round, it looks like Beamer, recognizing that, is looking for something a little bit more steadier, a little more aggressive to go in with the chase. As he slips on double toaster to help him kind of keep up with Steel's pacing a bit more efficiently. And a nice block off of that rush does allow Beamer to have a little bit more ground here, but he does need to find a good rush opportunity to be able to secure that lead. Out comes the rush. He is going to be able to find that 170 damage. Which is just enough to be able to get him that control. Steel knocked into the ditch this time. Both trying to build up rush, generating, looking for that opportunity. This is definitely, now that he has that aggression, he can keep up this pace a little bit better. With just two solid guaranteed knockdown options, and that rush not going to kill yet, but Steel now one hit away from falling. There's some excellent movement going in from Steel. He gets the punish there, and now rush will KO. Steel looking for that chance. Goes in for it twice, but Beamer catching him the second time around. And we'll take him out, bringing the score to 1-1. Where are all the other badges? Oh, here we go. There it is. And we open Krita. And it looks like we're going to be going to Scrapyard next. Which means neither party has to worry about that ditch. The oppression can definitely still happen, and I'd actually say this can work out a bit better for Steel, as that Kablammer is super oppressive in the corner. Chat, I have a question for you. When you think of Guardian, actually, I'll just make a poll. We do have Beamer sticking in with the double toasters. Steel just keeping to roll with that Kablammer nade combo. Might need to change up if Beamer's starting to figure things out here. So far, this stage pick just working out a little bit better in Steel's favor, keeping up this tempo. Just the Kablammer, yeah, it's a solid anti-air, and whenever Beamer is playing defensively, trying to utilize that high ground, the Whammer is just sneaking by and walling him out. Out comes the rush. It's gonna be a clean punish for Beamer. Gets 280 damage. That does really help him out a lot. But Steel still holding on to this lead. And with this just deft movement, just quickly dodging out of the way of things and just keeping his options clean. He's making it really difficult for Beamer to keep up. Finally gets the knockdown. And he's gonna be able to walk out of things with that. Setting himself up with advantage in Steel's stage. Especially with this being such a pivotal moment, whoever gets this just has so much advantage and control. Steel definitely does not want to give this up. Gets that first nade poke. The Beamer still holding onto a lot of health. Steel himself also. Both just looking for that right moment to be able to slide by. Oh, that's gonna be a nice attempt, but again, Beamer is so much more aware and confident in trying to call these out, and he's starting to punish Steel for a lot of his plays. Steel now just a smidge away from getting knocked out. Beamer only needs those 2 good exchanges. Where Steel has to get through 50% of Beamer's health still to be able to take this. Rush coming in quickly. Just blast after blast with those 2 arms perma charge. There's so little breathing room for Beamer. Trying to build up another chance to play back. And Steel just looking to kind of keep up this damage, keep up this tempo. Rush is ready. Beamer thinks he has the chance, but that wall from Scrappy are going to safely protect Steelhead. Out comes the rush. He's not going to be able to get the shield break. And the Kablammer just not able to wall out those toasters will allow Beamer to get the advantage. Which means we are now set for a potential bracket reset, and my boost is quickly deteriorating. Shame about that water. There is a poll in chat if anybody's interested in checking that out. It's just a random question, but I just wanted to see what y'all thought. back into Sky Arena. Steel thinks he has what it takes to be able to turn this back into his favor, and especially with this setup, just putting Beamer into that ditch can give him a little bit more room, a lot more opportunity to be able to make things work, as he's keeping this chase and these explosions just constantly slowing down Beamer's movement, just stuttering him out. But good boxing allows Beamer to finally find some high ground, balances it back out. Ends up giving way as he backs away. So comfortable with that mid to long range that he, in a lot of cases, just willingly will give Steel neutral just to kind of keep that distance. Out comes the rush, is going to be a safe block. Beamer definitely fully seen these things coming out now. He's just not getting caught out by the rushes like he was so much earlier. But his rushes are coming in strong, and he's punishing Steel out every time he's got it ready. Both now just a hit or two away from getting taken down. Steel just barely dodging away from those toasters. Beamer just barely getting away from these full hits. So he takes 50 after 50. And now Steel just looking for any stray bit of damage. Beamer trying to build up rush, but he's not going to be able to bring it out in time. Steel likely going to be going in quickly, trying to just set up a nice rush opportunity. Once again, Beamer giving leeway for him to have that high ground. Much more interested in trying to just keep that space and distance, but with how easy it is to chase your foe here, it does mean that he's just giving Steel a lot more control and opportunity to try to roll things in his favor. And now that Steel has that lead, you can see he's playing a little bit more safely, backing up a lot more. Just being aware of the fact that Beamer isn't going to respond too much in his own kind. Glamor not going to be able to come out, line up that shot well enough, as Beamer was just too far out of the way. Gets 240 damage and sets himself up with a health lead. Beamer starting to secure a lot more tempo, a lot more control in this round, especially with a rush quickly readying up. He only needs one solid hit to be able to take Steel down. Again, we've been here before, where Steel has that 50% health that he has to work through, but he is quickly burning through it. And if he gets a good confirm off of that nade or Kablam, or potentially just rush confirm off of it, Beamer gonna choose to throw out the rush, just determined to be able to take that round. But unfortunately for him, that is not for the point. As there's still one more chance, Steel has the opportunity to be able to turn this to a 2-2 score, especially if he gets a good opening with this rush. Slowly burning down that rush shield. Beamer again recognizing that that shield break was inevitable and actually ends up jumping right into the Kablammer, meaning that Steel gets, for the most part, full damage on that. Beamer building up another rush, has definitely become a lot more active in utilizing that tool. Just being aware of how impactful it is to be able to just get that 300 damage every which way, and how risky it is to throw out these nades and Kablammers. Slowly building up another rush. Steel likely will be wanting to be really cautious with this, unless he just gets to dodge Beamer's rush, which means he now has a very safe opportunity to throw out another one of his rushes. And with him holding that health lead, if it connects, that would just be a dangerous place for Beamer to be. Trying to set something up. Beamer gonna safely block it down. We do get a lot of chip damage, but Beamer with a well-aimed choice toaster follow-up does knock Steel down and secures the health lead for himself. With 10 seconds left on the clock, Steelhead needs to get damage. There it is. Now he just needs to knock a hit, and a successful read on that rush. Means that there's a few seconds left. A good air dash, and that's going to be bringing the score to 2-2. Whoever takes this will either cause a bracket reset, which means we have a whole nother best of 5, which means that we've just done like, that's a best of 15 in a row. or Steel wins the tournament. I mean, I'd be super down to see another best of 5, but also, oh, these are so close. DNA and Scrap are banned, which means I'm guessing we're going to be seeing Spring Stadium as... Oh, no, we're going to be sticking with Sky. Both have taken some nice points off of this, so I can understand the interest there. Alright, heading into the final bout of this match. Steelhead going in quickly, this time being the one to fall into that ditch. Not sure if that's the safest place to be, but he does find his way out. And Beamer starting to find a little bit of, looking for a little bit of ground, a chance to be able to set things in his favor. That 50 bit of damage does mean that he's got that bit of ground to work with, and he's going to be able to get the 130 on top. Out comes the rush, and this is going to be a clean catch on that nade. Beamer starting off with a really spicy lead. Just looking to try to keep this pace up against Steelhead, and he's continuing to pummel him down time and time again. One final hit is all he needs for this round. Might be wise for Steel just to let him take this so he has that rush advantage, but it's... Even then, Beamer was building rush so quickly that it might not have had a point to it. Beamer now at match advantage. Starting things off, it's going to be that Kablammer whiffing, and Beamer now has it rush advantage and control. Steel's putting that Kablammer away. He's going in double nade, looking to just bomb Beamer down. It's going to be a good 310 damage rush for Beamer, keeping himself at 50% health lead. And while those two explosions can be really scary, it's just so much slower and so easy for Beamer to just be able to box and pummel through, and we have ourselves a bracket reset. And that's another best of 5 that we're doing. Beamer bringing it all the way back. And now we have ourselves the final. The final, the greatest final. The bracket reset finale. Whoever is able to take this best of 5 will be this Battle for Stardom. This will be the star of this tournament. This battle for... They will be the bouncer. Whoever takes this will be titled the bouncer, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Starting things off. Steel again going nade Kablammer. Beamer just continuing to get more and more aware, so much better at what he needs to be doing to be able to slip by these attacks and just counter punishing Steelhead out. Now comes the rush. It's going to be Steel successfully securing 345. As that health lead, Beamer just continuing to run with these double toasters, just power through as much as possible. Just the safeness and the security that those two toasters possess have helped him through so much in these matches. Steel just playing it patiently, just holding out on shield, recognizing that he can kind of just aim to slow things down, make sure that he's stalling it out as much as possible. A good call out, breaking that grab attempt, but that confirm is not in fact true, and Steel safely shielding it out. Has that... Cannot get hit by anything. The grab would definitely set Beamer in advantage, but nice dodge, leaping right over it like a little game of hopscotch. Will allow Steelhead to take the first point. Tries to go in for the grab, but Beamer gonna be able to punch him down. Just these toasters constantly, safely keeping things nice and healthy for him. Out comes the rush, but it's gonna be a solid block and feeds Beamer a rush and grab. Imagine if that grab landed on the springboard. He could have had a Yabuki right off of Steel's whiffed rush. I seriously need to sit down and just lab a lot of things in arms. Nice pressure play coming in from both players, just constantly throwing out these punches, both doing a phenomenal job of just dodging around. Just such minute movement coming in from both ends, allowing them to safely weave between every single attack. Out comes this rush. Steel, this time anticipating it, will safely block, only getting knocked down by that nade. We've got a weakened Kablammer, but it looks like it's going to safely recover. Steel shield coming back full health. Weakened shield now coming in on Beamer's side, as Steel constantly just bamming and battering it with the rush quickly readying up. And the health lead. This one looks like it's all set for Steel to take, and he's going to be able to confirm that. First point going to Steelhead.
Yeah, baby.
I'll update that later. Heading into our next stage, it's going to be DNA Lab. Stage bands constantly changing up, mixing around. It's not necessarily one for one where the stages either side are really looking for and where they're going to excel best, especially with both of them being really excelled in their defensive play, zoning style, and wanting to keep their opponent back at bay. Steel maybe just being a little bit more aggressive. Nice pressure going in on the tube though, allows Beamer to secure that first bit of damage. Gets a good follow-up with the Coolerang, but not going to be able to keep an ice chain rolling. As Steelhead securely breaks himself out. Second freeze though, it's going to be a quick dive in for Beamer. Gets that additional 150 on the grab. Oh yeah, I remember how the scoring went. Lewis. Steel. Beamer. Beamer. Steel. Beamer. There we go. Out comes the rush. Beamer not going to be able to successfully connect. Still has a good health lead though. Just needs to make sure he's playing safe for the next 30 seconds. Steel is going in for the chase. He wants to burn down that health meter. He wants to put Beamer in critical. But a good freeze. Another follow-up. Trying to bait out the rush. Steel did not want to throw it out, knowing that it could be exceptionally risky and easily baited. He's going to let himself get knocked out by that grab there instead. Meaning that Beamer now has the round advantage in this stage. Steel replying, has put that Kablammer away. He's got the nade set up with the Boomerang, which is going to be a fun little variant between Beamer's Toaster and Coolerang. 225 damage in, but that's only going to just balance out the health pool by a little bit, as Beamer still has a very confident amount of control going in right now. Just constantly trying to keep up this pressure, dancing, both players constantly just throwing out these deflects, trying to pummel through each other. Steel setting himself up behind that last pillar. He wants to see it get knocked out. Once that pillar is gone, the Kablimber will be so much more usable and far more dangerous. And Steelhead likely very aware of that right now. Another nice boomerang, just slowly pushing Beamer back further and further away. And giving Steelhead more and more neutral ground to work with. Here we go, back with that pillar. Likely trying to set something up. And we do get a nice rush. 280 damage. And that pillar only has 1 health left. Steelhead will choose to stick with the boomerang here. Beamer going to be going in with double toaster. That last pillar is knocked down. There is nowhere to hide for either player. Both just have their gloves, their arms, their sprint and deflects. That's all they've got to rely on. Grab attempt going to be safe, but a follow-up of the toasters will find its mark on Steelhead. And another successful connection. Beamer just doing a really good job with a lot of these trades. Does get caught out by that grab though. Finally finding a little bit more damage. Steel now at risk of getting set up for a KO. If Beamer can just find 1 or 2 more hits off of those toasters or a grab. Finally gets it. And now Steelhead has to be cautious. There is a rush ready in the wings. Anything can take him down, and anything will, as the toaster brings the score to 1-1 yet again. I love it. Just calling out what Beamer's gonna ban. So he's just like, we're going here. You will be banned, Spring and Moss, so Sky. Fair enough. Looks like Steelhead is changing things up yet again. We're putting the boomerang away. Got the roaster slipped on, putting the nades out too. They're going to be a lot faster, a lot more precise with their aim, but if Beamer is just keeping up close and making these safe boxing plays, he will be able to successfully just like pummel down Steelhead exquisitely, and we're seeing a lot of that already as Beamer quickly getting in with really good pressure and holding on to a lead because of that. Roaster just coming in so quickly though, and with it being a 140 charged hit, means that every time Steel's making a successful connection, it's just a little bit more impactful than any of the ones that Beamer is landing. A good rush, but it's going to be a safe block. Beamer responding. He's going to be able to successfully connect 260 damage. Steel hoping that he was able to back up enough. But it was not the case. With a good lineup of the toaster, Steelhead will be taken down. Beamer having some advantage and control, and back comes the nade kablammer. If Steelhead can just get advantage here, this thing is so scary. And especially with Beamer being very comfortable, or more than willing to accommodate for those arms. He finds himself diving into that ditch a lot, which means that it's just really easy for the Kablammer and Nade just to kind of secure its pokes and pressure. but he does find his way out. A couple of nice plays, and the rush is going to whiff as Steel just barely slipping by. Even that said though, Steel trying to find his chance, looking for an opportunity to get the rush to roll. And Beamer just playing really safely here. Just bringing out that shield constantly, fully focusing on deflect and defensive movement. Finally sees his chance, but Steelhead sees it too and gets 295 damage. Beamer does have a rush nearly readied up. But Steel does secure a lead, and that's likely going to force Beamer to feel the need to throw out that rush as soon as possible to try to go back into rush generation, especially with a few seconds left on the clock. Gets that 280. Steel needs a good trade to be able to take this point. But with 7 seconds left, he is not going to be able to do it, as Beamer just going to play this out patiently. And just like last time, Beamer going to be able to take this third point. Sets himself up with advantage and giving him a significant amount of control in this. Steelhead changing his colors. We have the mirror colors. Beamer disapproves. Steelhead will be sticking with his loadout. Going back in with the no adjustments to the brass man. Spring brass? Max spring. Beamer now looking for just one more set win to take the match and claim this tournament. Steelhead going in with Nade Kablammer. Again, this can be a really good stage for this. If Steelhead can just force Beamer onto that back wall, that high ground allows the Kablammer to work counterplay. But if Beamer's just dodging the Kablammer and throwing out 300 damage worth of rush, he will be rolling things out and holding a lead as a result. A big thing that works out well for Beamer as well, as long as he's safely working around those explosions, which all of these matches have given him more and more time to really warm up on how to play safe against those blasts, which just means that it's so much more difficult for Steel to really do what he's looking to do here. But whenever Beamer connects with those charged toasters, it's slowing Steel's rush generation, which means that he's getting more time and more control to be able to make things work out the way he wants. One point of health is all Steel has. Beamer just needs to find that chance to go in. Any straight explosion can take Steel out. But Beamer is getting bombed down. Feels the need to throw out that rush, and the safe bait. He's going to be able to walk away, and with the timer ticking down, Steel unable to respond. Just an excellent call out. Steel trying to cover the other side, but because of that, Beamer will be able to walk away virtually unharmed there. And we are now at tournament point. Beamer just looking for one more round win. Has fully downloaded Steel's plays and is just calling him out on all of his attempts. Nice connection, nice chain of hits though. This low ground is actually working out a little bit more in Steel's favor, as these nades are just getting set up in really nice positions. Beamer just trying to find his way through, set himself up with a little bit more damage, but this likely looks like a place where Beamer probably just wants to try to play this out, see if he can turn the tides, but hold on to that rush, because this next round might be his call, that might be his chance. As Steel's going to be able to take this round safely. Beamer quickly going back onto that high ground. We'll have to see how that really works out for him, because we've seen in most cases it generally has betrayed him and caused out some punishes. That deflect going to lead him into 345 damage. Beamer with the rush, he can't really balance out the lead, but if he can just start making a couple of good pulls, he might be able to work things out. And what I said before, it still stands true. He is playing so much better against Steel's plays. But every once in a while, if Steel can just slow him down, confuse him just a little bit, those explosions will just befuddle him so much. And it's just causing him to make all of these little misplays once again. Steel looking for the chance, looking for that opportunity. He's gotta rush. If he lines the shot up, a nice whiff on that toaster is going to lead into an excellent rush. Score 2-2 again in this bracket reset. Whoever takes this will win. I'm just gonna climb these up a little bit. There. Alright, and it looks like we're going to be going back to Scrapyard for this last one. Whoever takes it from here will be the victor of Battle for Stardom. Just doing there. Beamer again. It's the thing that he's been finding works out the best now. It was one of the worst arms, or one of the worst setups for him before when he was still figuring out this matchup, but now that he knows what he's looking for, Double Toaster just allows him to have so much more leeway, so much more room. I'm curious to see how this is going to go, but I'd actually go as far as to say he might have been better off picking so many of the other stages, because the stage just works so much better for Steelhead, and we've seen it quite a few times. I worry that this stage pick is going to be the thing that causes Beamer to lose this tournament, and we are seeing that already, as Steelhead holding on to a health lead by about 50%, and he's going to be able to set up the tournament advantage with a choice rush. Little hop for joy. I don't think I've seen Beamer win here. Like, he's taken rounds here and there, but I could be mistaken. I don't think I've seen Beamer beat Steel here yet in this tournament. Which just, this is an extremely risky thing to be going in for then. To try to make this stage work out, we do have that change up with the Siki going in. Hopefully looking for that explosion, that slow speed to confuse Steel or catch him off guard a little bit. But it's just going the same way as Scrapyard goes for Beamer, where Steel just holding out that lead. He's got that control of the center ground, and the Kablammer just does such a nice job of anti-airing Beamer out. Beamer taking that center ground, but only to really advance to the other side of the ground. A nice block for Steel, just barely holding onto a lead. We'll have to see how this really turns out for Beamer, but this is a dicey pick of a place for him, I would feel. And especially with Steel still just barely holding onto a lead, holding onto that rush advantage too. We finally see some ground coming in for Beamer as that Siki finally finds its mark. Just doing his best to dodge out of the way of these. Finally, another Siki confirmed. He does get more damage. Only a few moments left on the clock, though. And Steel looking to try to close things out here. A blast on himself. Beamer trying to go for the block, but I think that is going to be it. No, we have another draw! Meaning that we are still in this. Both players will be going into this with Rush. Just looking for that chance. Beamer going to be able to get the Seiki to work for him just a little bit more. Steel getting shocked down. This is a must for Beamer. He is not going to hesitate. Gets 450 damage on that Rush. And Steel quickly getting bombed down. What he's looking for is to try to get close enough to Beamer, but because of all those trades, those exchanges, this is just so good in Beamer's place right now. But Steelhead just, now that he's up in that grill and he's got that permacharge, this is just blasting Beamer, chewing out his health meter time and time again. And those blocks, the parries with these arms just working out so well in Steel's favor. Every time it looks like something might finally find its way into his face, he's constantly just walling these shots down, a little bit of damage on a self-explosion, and the Seiki finally going to be able to do it. This is 1 point left, tournament point, extra round, whoever takes this will win. Steelhead starting off with the offense, quickly pushing Beamer back against that wall, looking for that confirmed, looking for an opportunity. He's gonna get that first hit with the uncharged nade. Beamer sees this chance for a rush, but it's gonna be punished out! And that is going to be in a horrifically bad place for Beamer to be now, as Steel now 50% health advantage. He has so much ground to work with. He has so much of the field, and Beamer has to spend this whole time building another rush, as it just got safely and cleanly punished out. Beamer finally finding some ground, a little bit of a knockdown. He has that rush advantage. If he can just, he might need to just bring it out before Steel throws his, just to not risk having anything happen. Another nice toaster will slow that rush generation. Beamer slowly building up a little bit of ground, but Steel gonna get caught out by the blast. Only 180 does set him with the lead. 30 seconds left on the clock. It is very likely, it is definitely possible for Beamer to build up another rush, especially if he's making a couple of good pokes, couple of good plays. Out comes the rush. It's gonna be a safe block for Beamer, and that's gonna be rush generation 2. 13 seconds left on the clock. Beamer has the lead. He's got the rush ready. He's gonna throw it out. He needs to. But Steel gonna be able to dodge just barely enough, but not to be able to dodge. And with the timer ticking down, Beamer does not take Steel out, but will be able to close out the tournament with a score of 3-2. And will be titled this Battle for Stardom's Bouncer. Oh gods. Please do not solo. Nobody, please never solo commentate. Don't do it. Yeah, that said, sorry, my head is... With that all said and done, that is the first Battle for Stardom tournament. Steelhead getting knocked out after sending Beamer into the lower bracket, having to go through a bracket reset, and then Beamer taking him out one last time to claim the title. Alamox settling in for third, Piper at fourth, and Mario and Vertical H at 6th place. Congratulations to everyone for their placements, and thank you all for participating. Tune in next time, sometime within the next 2 to 3 weeks, for the next iteration of Battle for Stardom, which will be featuring the heiress herself.